Hi, my name's Lauren from ACA, and today we're going to talk about gerunds and infinitives. In the previous video, we talked about when you can exclusively use a gerund and when you can exclusively use the infinitive. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you watch it before this video. You need to be familiar with the basic concepts of gerunds and infinitives first. In this video, we're going to talk about when you can use the gerund or the infinitive and see what happens then. We are also going to talk about a more advanced use of the gerund. So, are you ready? So let's do a very brief recap about what is a gerund and what is an infinitive. A gerund is a noun form of the verb plus ing. It is used after certain parts of speech to express activities or experiences. I enjoy painting. The infinitive is a basic form of the verb. I prefer to work in the morning. One is a noun, one is a verb. Simple, right? In the previous video, we talked about when you can only use a gerund or only use an infinitive. Now, let's take a look at when you can use either. There are some circumstances where the meaning doesn't change. Sharon started eating before everyone else. Sharon started to eat before everyone else. There's no difference in meaning. In both examples, the actions and events are the same. There are some verbs that whether you use a gerund or infinitive will not change the meaning. There are quite a few, but here are just some of the more common ones. Remember, you can use either the gerund or the infinitive. Attempt. They attempted to break my password. Begin. I began seeing John 2 weeks ago. Bother. I didn't bother leaving a note. Cannot bear. I cannot bear to see you hurt. Cease. He never ceases to amaze me. Continue. I continued going on the weekends. Hate. I hated going to school. Intend. I didn't intend to come every year. Love. I love watching horror movies. Prefer. I prefer to stay. Start. It started to rain. There are environments where the meaning doesn't change, but the use of it does. Let's take a look at some examples. I advise you to go by bus. I advise going by bus. In the first example with the infinitive, to go, we see the object you. In the second example, we see the gerund going, but there's no object allowed. So there are some environments where both will have the same meaning, but structurally, the infinitive allows for the object, where the gerund does not. So if you are deciding which one to use, if you need the object, you should use the infinitive. If you do not need an object, then feel free to use the gerund instead. Here are some more examples. He allowed her to drive the car. He allowed driving the car. She forbids us to leave early. She forbids leaving early. However, there are some circumstances where if you use the gerund or the infinitive, then the meaning does change. Let's take a look at that example again. I stopped smoking yesterday. I stopped to smoke yesterday. In the gerund example, I smoked for a period of time, but as of yesterday, I do not anymore. In the infinitive example, I was doing some action, I stopped that action to smoke. The verb alone does not tell you whether you should use a gerund or an infinitive. It depends on the meaning you are trying to convey. So let's take a look at some more examples and examine the meaning behind each phrase. Remember that gerunds are nouns and infinitives are verbs, so see how that affects the sentence. Remember to hand in a draft by Friday. Here, the instruction is to remember to do something said before the action takes place. So remember plus the infinitive is used to talk about something that needs to be done in the future. Remember hanging out on the roof of your old apartment in Toronto? So here, the instructions are to talk about the memories after the event has happened, not to hang out on the roof. So remember plus the gerund is to talk about memories in the past. I forgot to buy toothpaste last week, and now I am out. Here, I failed to remember to buy toothpaste. It is an action forget followed by another action to buy. So forget plus the infinitive is used to talk about something that you failed to remember to do or neglected to do. I hope you forgot about falling down in front of everyone. Here, forget is talking about a memory, an act. It is not instructions to do or not do something. So forget plus the gerund is to not remember or cease to think about a memory in the past. I tried to learn how to play the guitar. Here, I did my best with no guarantee of success. So try plus the infinitive is to make an effort. If you want a promotion, try taking on more responsibility in your projects. So here, the instructions are to try something new, something you haven't done before. So try plus the gerund is to suggest something. I regret to say that his behavior is nothing new. Here, this is talking about something in regards to the future. I regret I have to say what I am about to say. So regret plus the infinitive is to tell someone some bad news that they do not want to hear. Whereas, I regret saying that John was useless. Now he's my boss. So here, this is talking about something in regards to the past. I regret a past action. So regret plus a gerund is used to talk about something in the past that you wish didn't happen. So these kinds of differences can be difficult to see at first, but it always depends on the meaning you are trying to convey. Remember that gerunds are nouns and infinitives are verbs. So the verb is going to carry the action of the sentence. But don't worry, with enough practice, you will get the hang of it. In the previous video, we talked about when you exclusively use gerunds instead of infinitives. We talked about different preposition combinations like verb plus preposition or adjective plus preposition. I love to talk about traveling. I am sorry about losing your keys. But did you know that you can use a noun plus a gerund? Well, you can. Going back to the original SVO sentence formation, there usually isn't enough room for unconnected nouns, but gerunds are allowed to get around this issue. Let's take a look at an example. We had trouble finding our way back home. Here, the gerund is able to fit nicely just behind trouble. We can see this with the possessive. I don't like Jim's drinking during work. This means I don't like the drinking that he does at work. Or we could use this just regularly. I don't like Jim drinking during work. I don't like Jim when he is drinking while at work. So here's a little recap before we go. So this is both for the gerund and the infinitive, where they have the same meaning. I started to read, I started reading. Same meaning, but different use. She forbids us to talk. She forbids talking. Different meaning. He stopped to smoke. He stopped smoking. And the new gerund exclusive, after nouns. I had some problems looking for a parking spot. I hope this video has helped you better understand the more advanced features of gerunds and infinitives. If you like this video, please check out our website lesbonmots.ca for more videos as well as our podcast and blog. Bye for now.